Since we talked about premium pets, I thought I'd bring up another topic that we talked about before, but not enough. So if we go into seedlings, we see that there's 5 different types. But if you watched my beta video, you know that there was 6 different types. The Chaos Root seedling never made it to the live game, only in beta. So I wanted to talk about what it could have been and what it could have done for the game. So looking back on the beta 1 Chaos Root seedling, we see that it only has 14 chaos damage, which is like nothing for a tier 6. But at the time the elemental ones only had 35, like fire. Over time, it got buffed to beta 2 and live game. And for the heat one, it went from like 35 to 65, I think, and now it's 100. So doing the math, 35 to 100 means that the 14 chaos damage would jump to 40. Still not a lot, but the damage type is unique and only on that seedling. But I did get a chance to test out what chaos damage actually does. From my testing, it seemed that it did full damage on everything, except for chaos enemies. It did like nothing to. I think it was mainly meant to combat the new raid, since it's divine damage and a divine boss. And it would make sense, but the problem is 95% of bosses have chaos aura, so it would be pretty much useless. Poison would be a way better choice for that. But I guess for leveling it has a purpose, but it's not any damage. I think the elemental one would be better. Onto the pet itself. It's yellow, and that's pretty cool, and it has a contrasty purple aura to it, which I think is even cooler. But the skill, the aura, in the beta 1 we saw that it did heat damage, which we knew was busted and reported, and then for beta 2 it was changed to divine damage, and I was like, wait, hold up. Why is a Chaos Root divine damage? And people said that the one Chaos Root for Bloodthorn had some kind of divine damage immunity, and that makes sense, but it doesn't make enough sense to combat that. Every other seedling gave its own element. And it's kind of weird and contrasty that it would give some unique damage type and then give divine damage, which is good, but it's just a weird combo. It doesn't really work that well. I did give it a little bit of credit in saying that it could be useful as a 5th damage to stack, but it's not that good. All these things combined of it not being that effective is probably why it was removed from the game, because the developers wouldn't really want anyone to be pissed off about a way inferior seedling, right? But still, it would have been unique to see. I want to see chaos damage be worked into something eventually. I guess the game's just not ready for it because of the enemies and how they're skewed towards divine damage instead of chaos damage. But if nothing else, we learned how chaos damage works, and we can keep it in the back of our mind in case they add something in the future that does add chaos damage.